It's Daybreak on Rise News. Time for the press preview. A first look at what's on the front pages as they arrive. We begin with our sister publication this day. It's leading with Buhari, Nigerians owe our military debt of gratitude as remaining 23 trained victims are freed. It's urging security agencies to sustain the momentum. Geregu makes history, becomes first power company to list on the stock exchange. And the 2023 APC NWC governors failed to agree on campaign commencement date.
And we'll take a look at the headlines in the Punch newspaper this morning. Senate approves 2023 expenditure, OK's $73 barrel oil price. And also in the Punch newspaper, litigation kicks 14 APC, PDP, LP candidates out. And bandits release remaining 23 trained hostages. Families rejoice. And Ebola deadlier than COVID-19, heightened surveillance, warns virologist.
The Nation newspaper this morning, leading headline, APC, NWC, governors, PCC members unite for Tinubu. It's reporting that the flag bearer returns today. Meanwhile, Southeast APC women hold rally in Owerri. More stories now. Buhari promises to restore teachers' pride. That's page 26. Otedola Geregu becomes first power firm to list shares on the Nigerian stock exchange. Above the nameplate of the Nation this morning, 23 remaining Abuja Kaduna train abductees freed.
The Leadership newspaper, Kaduna train attack after 6 months in captivity, remaining 23 victims regain freedom. Navy seeks leadership support to combat oil theft. And Kogi vigilantes invade Dangote cement plant, shoot workers. PDP crisis, Bode George to Atiku, tell Ayu to resign.
And on the foreign scene, which started with Financial Times, U.S. hit out at oil courts that align OPEC with Russia. And also in the Financial Times, governments set to swoop as pension funds hold the fire sale after glitch crisis.
The Independent this morning, Truss accepted campaign help from ex-minister despite harassment claim. That's a photo of Liz Truss from yesterday, giving her leader's speech to the Tory conference yesterday. They're saying she knew of the allegations.
The Times, U-turn or face election wipeout, Truss warned.
And the Daily Telegraph, income tax says to rise by £21 billion despite budget. And rapidly advancing Ukraine could retake Crimea, says the United States.
And for the press review, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello. Emmanuel, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with some good news. Families of the victims of the Kaduna-bound train that was attacked in March are rejoicing. The remaining victims have been freed, and President Buhari says the military should keep up the momentum. And the Defense Headquarters gave details of the victims' rescue. This day is reporting how Mamu's arrest may have aided safe operation. What are your thoughts on this fantastic development?
Well, yes, Nkechi, it's a good day for to read that, and it brings some form of closure to the anguish all of us have gone through throughout reporting this story. When those attacks happened, we were here reporting that, and I remember how we were all. It was just a harrowing experience for everyone, not just those families and those who were there, but the general atmosphere of fear that nowhere was safe again. At that point, of course, the train transport from Kaduna seemed to be the safest thing to the nation's capital. So it looks as if, well, that very last idea or whatever conception of safety was blown off by that train attack. Because if they can do that on the train tracks, of course, the issue of the road is out altogether. And there were even talks of an attack at the airport. So when the train thing happened, everyone was really scared. And that the fact that it's very close home here, it was something else. So then, of course, those negotiations happened, and then you have some of the releases that happened. But yesterday, finally, I think that aspect of hostage taking has been dealt with. And the president was really, like these days, reporting, the president saying that, look, we must, we owe the military a debt of gratitude. He said this in the past, and that he is going to deal with the crisis of insurgency and banditry before he's out of office. And now he's saying we must give the military the salute they so well deserve. He's trying to exalt in this moment of this release, and I think it's a relief for everyone. So, but beyond the politics of it, the human angle story there, or the human angle side of it, is families that are now relieved, and the rest of us too, who have empathized with those people, especially when those images of them being beaten in the bush came out. I think it was the deepest moment, the lowest moment in our experience around this issue. So that release yesterday was one that I think everyone welcomed, and of course the president using it as a moment. Again, we're in the election season, and almost using it as actually one of the things to point out. Of course, I don't think he's playing politics with him. I think he's really, really sincere in saying that, look, the military deserves a commendation. But you can't help but wonder how much negotiations have gone into the release. And then, of course, the image of Mamu in the entire thing. Mamu was the publisher of Desert Herald, who was arrested and saying that he was going for a counter or rather a terrorism event. So questions are still being asked around the Mamu saga. Was he doing those negotiations then as a businessman? What role did he play? And how has his arrest actually facilitated the release of this? These are some of the stories, I think, or some of the issues that they're still lingering. But for now, the good news is out there. The release has happened, and yes, the president is actually doing some, some chest beating and some exaltation around the issue.
Well, we'll wait to see how things emerge on this case, Emmanuel. But taking a look at the politics, this day newspaper is reporting that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will be back in the country today. And this comes as the APC NWC failed, and governors failed to agree on campaign commencement date. It's on this day, Emmanuel.
Yeah, well, that's the angle this day is reporting, but around the APC crisis, that they failed to agree, and it's true. They actually failed to agree on a date, especially that contentious list. It's part of the lingering troubles of the APC. The Nation newspaper is reporting something different. It's saying that APC governors are backing. That's the angle the Nation newspaper. Nation newspaper, continuously tries to put the best spin around the APC story. Takes out the bite, takes out the negative aspects. But this day bringing out the total picture, saying that meeting yesterday was also as deadlocked as most other meetings around these political parties, especially the idea or the agreement on the commencement date for, which is really bad for the APC if you ask, because yesterday PDP had a very good showing. The other parties seem to be getting their act together, having rallies, whether it is the APC having those, women rallies in the East, or in Lagos, or what the PDP did yesterday, the strong showing yesterday in the rally. But it's wrong that APC can't actually get its presidential campaign list off the ground. And now, the big story, the return of Tinubu himself. Well, that's we help maybe take away, but the crisis of the stories around their presidential candidate. APC seem to be grappling with not just the issue of the campaign council, but even the man that they are going to campaign for, and that Tinubu. Of course, those videos came out and those pictures came out, but many people stay very skeptical about